I'm Chris Bunk, here with
Kyler Black.
and we're here with your afternoon announcements. Attention all students, tutoring is now available after school on Mondays and Wednesdays in Mrs. Ludwig's room, G119 from 3:20 to 4:20.
The prize for February's Hat Day will be the most colorful hat. Start planning your hat now. Congrats again to Ava Taylor, who won January's most artistic hat. Valentine's Serenades will be taking place on Tuesday, February 14th. For just $2, the senior choir will sing to your special someone. Visit the choir room or see any senior choir members to purchase. Serenades will be for sale from January 31st until February 10th.
Club and class news, TRAP sign-ups are now in the office for grades 9 through 12 only.
News from the guidance office. See the guidance office for scholarship opportunities. Students should be working on their CCR during advisory. See guidance or your advisory teachers with any questions.
Athletic news, winter sports are now in session. Best of luck to our student athletes. Winter weight room is now open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3:20 to 5 p.m. after school. If you have any questions, please see Mr. Penley. Spring sports signups begin January 23rd and end February 15th. Sign up online during that time if you plan on participating.
Hello, we're here with Cole Kellogg, a junior on the wrestling team, to ask him some questions about their season so far. What challenges did you anticipate going into the season?
Definitely the tournaments. Tool City, sharing duels were always a tough one, so we're expecting that, but yeah.
With one more match this season against county rivals Youngsville, what are the expectations for the team and how are you preparing?
Pretty tough. We're looking to beat them. We've beat Warren already, and we're looking to go out strong against Youngsville and also defeat them.
Going into your senior season, what can you and your team do to improve during the off season?
Definitely get in the weight room, stay active, just keep our weights controlled, kind of. I mean, you don't have to go crazy about it, but stay in that area you want to wrestle in the next year, but definitely, yeah.
Finally, what advice do you have for young and upcoming wrestlers in the Knights program?
Keep with it. I mean, you get a family with your wrestling team, you get close with them, and you'll have a good time. It's always fun, and yeah.
All right, thank you for being here, Cole.
Thank you.
Now back to you, Kyler and Chris.
WIKE News is now partnering with an organization called Notice News to bring you international and national news stories. The mission of Notice News is to bring accurate and trustworthy news and information to the next generation of global citizens, empowering them to make better, well-informed decisions about their lives and our future.
Now on to some recent reports from the Notice News studio.
New York City has had the opposite problem of Western New York this year, an almost complete lack of snow. Here's Jonathan again on the record-breaking situation there.
Winter here in New York City looks a little bit different this year. Over in Central Park, joggers are out, ducks are in the ponds, and there's plenty of sunshine. But no, this is not normal for late January. In fact, it's record-breaking. New York City has now gone 325 consecutive days with no snowfall, according to the National Weather Service. This marks the longest the city has gone without snowfall since 1973.
It's a combination of rising temperatures related to climate change and also natural variability that happens. I mean, I actually look back at the historical record of snowfall, specifically like decade by decade, and we do see these shifts, decade by decade trends in snowfall. So I think asking questions about the links to climate change, yes, we need to do that. We also need to look at natural variability and the role that that plays.
New York City winters usually look like this: sidewalks covered in snow and thick ice in fountains. But the average temperature for the first half of this January was 43 degrees, making it the third warmest January here in history. While there have been some light flurries, the National Weather Service defines snowfall as 0.1 inch of snowfall on the ground, which hasn't happened yet.
It is definitely rare, but we have a lot of winter left. You know, February is actually our snowiest month here in New York City, here in Central Park. So it is important to keep in mind. Things could change very quickly.
High-functioning robots, limited in their ability to do more creative jobs, have mostly been the work of science fiction. At least until now. Jonathan has the story.
It seems that there's a new development in AI, or artificial intelligence, every day. But ChatGPT from a company called OpenAI has taken the world by storm. It's a bot that's designed to mimic human conversations.
Basically what it does is it continues writing what you gave it. If you ask it a question, it'll answer it. If you ask it to continue what you're writing, it'll do that.
It can write poetry on demand or answer complex questions on any subject. It's even passed high-level medical and law exams. In developing the bot, researchers discovered that the AI was able to use data to start forming its own reasoning.
They said, why don't we just give it questions? Why don't we ask it about mathematics? Why don't we ask it about things that it wasn't even trained on? And then people discovered this emergent reasoning capability, where you can train it on things that it's never seen before.
This technology has the potential to revolutionize customer service, online content creation, marketing, and maybe your homework? But don't count on that. There are already tools out there to help teachers check to make sure your papers are ChatGPT free.
There were protests around the country last week after body cam footage was released of an incident between police and a black man, Tyre Nichols, that left Nichols dead. Jonathan from Notice News explains.
The country is reeling after the violent death of another black person at the hands of law enforcement. At around 8:30 p.m. on January 7th, this man, 29-year-old Tyre Nichols, was pulled over by Memphis police on suspicion of reckless driving. Authorities describe what happened next.
And there was an initial altercation involving several officers and Mr. Nichols. Pepper spray was deployed. The suspect, or not the suspect, Mr. Nichols, fled on foot. There was another altercation at a nearby location at which the serious injuries were experienced by Mr. Nichols.
Nichols spent 3 days in the hospital in critical condition before he died. Nichols died from, quote, extensive bleeding caused by a severe beating from police. All 5 police officers involved in the incident, who are also black, were fired and late last week charged with second-degree murder.
Let me be clear. What happened here does not at all reflect proper policing. This was wrong. This was criminal.
Over the weekend, authorities released the body cam footage of the incident, which many, including the police, have called appalling. Following the release of the video, protests erupted in Memphis and elsewhere as the nation struggled to come to terms with what happened.
It's not right. It's supposed to be a system that protects us, that provides safety for us, but instead it's killing us, murdering us, innocent lives who just began their adulthood.
This incident is the latest to spark outrage over the treatment of African Americans by law enforcement. Widespread protests erupted in 2020 after the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor at the hands of police. The Mapping Gun Violence Project, a nonprofit that tracks police shootings, says that statistically, black people are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people. In a statement last week, Tyre Nichols' family said nobody should ever die from a simple traffic stop.
That's all we have for your afternoon announcements. And remember, stay classy, Eisenhower.